Hi everyone, I hope you're doing wonderful. I wanted to come on here and just talk about just being ourselves, genuinely and authentically knowing who we are and being able to express ourselves in the way that we came here to express ourselves. So if you stay tuned, I will be back. All right, so recently I did another detox, a fast, and I only lasted about 21 days. And it was really interesting because I did this in order to really connect with myself and to practice willpower and also to regenerate all of my cells. And as I came to the end, because I felt like I needed some more nourishment, I've been studying and learning a lot and really trying to let go of things. I just felt like, okay, this is about all I can take right now. I'm going to go ahead and just eat some basically some homemade salsa and some organic chips, and then I had some homemade cooked organic soup. So much different than what I used to kind of cheat with. The foods that I eat, like cooked asparagus, would be me cheating. And I started to look at myself and kind of the thoughts that were coming in and the emotions, because as a gymnast, I struggled with food and with my body, different types of things like that, body dysphoria, just being unhappy with how I looked and how I felt and all of that type of stuff. And I recognized some of the old thoughts and emotions coming back, like wanting to kind of, in a way, punish myself and be like, man, I'm gonna, after I cheat per se, I'm going to go ahead and just hit this hard and really like do dry fasting and stuff like that. And I reminded myself, no, I'm not doing this anymore. Authentically, who I am is divine love and divine grace and divine freedom. And this is all a process. I have to be completely patient with myself and patient with others. Patience has been a thing that has been difficult for me, and I think a lot of it is because my body has been unhealthy, and I have had these different types of self-talk that is very negative, and it repeats. And so if I'm not loving and caring to myself, then how can I be that way to others and genuinely know who I am? So I just wanted to say, yeah, I went about 21 days, and now I've eaten a couple of cooked meals and, yes, some organic chips and my favorite homemade salsa. And I'm going to prepare for the next time and just go as much as I can, because digging deeper and deeper is important to me, because I started to really feel the energy inside of me, and I was really excited about that. But I'm also not doing as much physically because my lymphatic system is, not completely operating. I see that my kidneys still are not completely filtrating, and I've been doing the herbs and stuff like that. And so I, now I can kind of do a little bit more, and then I'll jump back in so that, I continue this process. I heard the story from Bajerski, and this is about the Great Awakening, and I am a little baby in this Great Awakening. I was looking at my pictures, and it was basically October 30th of 2018 when things really started to become clear to me and veils started to lift. And around my 40th birthday, November 4th, like the day before, my born date is November 5th, and I turned 40 in 2019, and I really, things just started to change internally, and I started to see things and to seek, and I really let go of a lot of my old belief systems, old BS. And so as I continue to shed off the old to allow space for the new, there's things that, I still get confused about, and I really want to know so much more, and I have to pull back. I have to know that I am right where I'm supposed to be, right on time. And when I see the things going on around the world, I know that, there's a bigger picture. And what I wanted to say about Mark Bajerski is that he was talking about us not being able to please everyone. And he told a story about a grandpa and his grandson. They were going through some villages, and they had a donkey, and when they got to a village, the little boy got on the donkey, and all the people in the town started scoffing and saying, "Shame on you, basically you should know better, your grandfather should be on that donkey." And they were just pointing and made the little boy feel really bad. He started to cry, and when they got through the town, he got off and said, "Grandpa, please get on the donkey. You can get on this time." And so when they approached the next village, the grandpa got on the donkey. And when they got into the village, all of the town folks started to shame the grandfather and say, "How dare you? You should know better. You're old enough, and I can't believe you're doing that. You're too big for that donkey." And the grandfather felt really bad, and so he got off. Well, the grandfather and the grandchild decided that they would now carry the donkey through the next village. And they just felt so bad. So when they got to the next village, right before, they had to cross a river, and as they were carrying the donkey, they lost their footing, and the donkey fell in the river and got swept away. And the moral of the story is basically, if you try to please everyone, you might as well wave bye-bye to your ass. And that is so true. And I'm going to bring this home into my experience. This experience of having my family torn apart has been very difficult for me, but it has been used to awaken me, and I'm grateful for where I am today. I've learned a lot. There are a lot of different perceptions by people, and I can't live up to everyone's expectations, and this comes down to even my offspring. When CPS gets involved in people's lives, there's a lot of destruction that does take place, but it's like a magnifying glass for each person to look at and to be able to see things that are being reflected back to them. The universe is a great big mirror, and I think that as we start to see that and realize that and self-realize and self-actualize who we are as spirits, we are extensions of Source. We are Source manifested, and we are in this body right now remembering who we are. And so I think that as we begin to remember that, we will be able to rise above what is going on a whole new level. This is not just about the physical. This is seriously about spiritual. There is a bigger picture to this. And so I just want to say, yeah, it's sad to me, when I went into the final hearing, or whatever, when all this stuff happened in my family, and it was the second round, and so much has happened, and so much happened during this whole well, I don't even know how to explain it, because it's not even a court, but I was drawn into their so-called criminal courts, and it was basically me, and then there was my family who were angry with me for leaving with my daughters and my son, and I had full custody, but there's a big picture out there, and there's very much, I don't want to get into all of the details because I've told my story, and I will, maybe talk a little bit more about it. My focus is on the solution and also healing and growth, but I just want to say that, yeah, it was hard, because I was standing there, and it was just my heart felt broken. And what the so-called judge said to me about, you're basically getting your payment by what is going to happen in your relationship with your daughters. And it was what you did, what you chose, and basically I deserved it. And I have come a long ways to get to the point where I know that I am worthy and I am valuable. And each of us deserves the love, forgiveness, grace, and also to not be defined by other people's realities and their own experiences and their own level of consciousness. I will say that I did the best that I could under the circumstances, and I know there's a lot of people out there going through similar things, and people don't understand when you're in that system what is actually happening, because everyone's so compartmentalized, and it's very difficult to see what is actually going on when we are so ingrained and so indoctrinated, programmed, and conditioned. So I just wanted to say, yeah, it was probably the toughest moment of my life, is standing there and not being supported. And since then, our relationships, yes, have been strained in many ways. And I don't know what they will look like in the future, but I know that I support all of my offspring in the path that they choose to go down, and I support myself on the path that I'm on, and I choose love, and I will continue to love them unconditionally, and just be that light and love that I want to see in the rest of the world. So anyways, I just wanted to come on here and say, yeah, we need to at this time stand in our power, knowing who we are, and as Infinite Waters, Ralph Smart says, take down that mask, because that is a symbol of us pretending to be something that we aren't. And also, a mask is a symbol of being silenced. So we need to take that mask down, stand up, speak our truth, and be led in the direction that is right for us, the path that has been laid out for us, and trust. I love you guys. Here's to the flow of life. Namaste.